We have one more vocabulary term that you need to know, and that is the complement of an event. The complement of an event is the probability of an event not occurring. And for that notation, we use a little superscript C on the P, and so maybe we want the probability of A not occurring. For example, if we want the probability that we do not roll a 1, well, that's going to be 5/6. If we want the probability that we do not roll an odd number, then that's the same as the probability that we roll an even. And there are rules that are going to go with this, and that's exactly what we're going to look at next. But just real quick, so we see again we have a sample space in these of the numbers 1 through 6. The event for this first example here is that we roll either a 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. The event in the second one is that we roll a 2, a 4, or a 6. We can also say that the event in this first one is that we roll not a 1, and then this is the second one, it's not an odd. This brings us to a set of probability rules. Our first rule is pretty straightforward. For any event A, the probability of A occurring needs to be somewhere between 0 and 1. If it's 0, it means will not occur. It's impossible. For example, the probability of rolling a 7 on your standard 6-sided dice is 0. A 1 means guaranteed to occur. So we get that this is guaranteed to occur. For example, the probability of rolling the numbers 1 through 6 on a die, a standard die, is pretty much guaranteed to occur. If for whatever reason you came up with the probability is 0.5 or 1/2, that means if you were to perform your experiments a huge amount of times, then about half the time you'll get that desired outcome. Alright, sample space. If you have a sample space S and then you want to know the probability of a sample space, that is always 1. So the probability of getting something in your sample space, which is your list of possible outcomes, is 1. It's always going to happen. That's the example of the probability of rolling a 1 through 6. You're always guaranteed to roll some number 1 through 6, so the probability of getting any one of those 6 numbers is 1. Complement. If you want to find the probability of an event not occurring, then you take the number 1 minus the probability of the event. So if the probability of A occurring is 1/3, then the probability of A not occurring is 2/3. You do want to look for that word not. Sometimes that word won't be there, but if you see the word not, it's a flashing neon light telling you you're looking at a complement. Okay, next we're going to look at union. For this one you want to look for the word or. Again, it's not always there, but sometimes it will be. For union we use addition. And it's going to be the probability of A plus the probability of B minus their intersection, so minus their overlap. For example, if I want to know the probability of rolling a 1 or a 3, then I take the probability of rolling a 1 plus the probability of rolling a 3, and that's 2/6, or 1/3. We'll look at some more examples of a union later. Just write down the equation for now. For an intersection, we look for the word and we're going to use multiplication. The intersection is the probability of A times the probability of B. That does it for the basics, which means we can start looking at some examples.